Welcome to the June 22nd, 2026 meeting of the Florissant City Council. Please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Harris.
Here.
Manganelli. Here. Egan. Here. Puda. Here. Shildroth. Here. O'Donnell. Pagano. Parson. Siam.
The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Are there any corrections or additions to the regular meeting minutes of June 8th, 2026? Hearing none, Councilman Manganelli moves to approve the minutes, seconded by, it will have to be, Mr. Shildroth, you weren't here, so we'll have to do Councilman Egan, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the meeting minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda is presentations. Tonight we have Senator Tim Green here to share a legislative update. Senator Green, welcome.
Thank you. Whoa. Good evening, everyone. It's good to see some familiar faces. Session ended the second Friday of May. To put things in perspective, there was a total of 100 pieces of legislation that passed. 17 of those were appropriation bills. So 83 were non-appropriation bills. House bills that passed were 42. Senate bills that passed both chambers were 41. To put things in perspective, when you hear about all these bills being introduced and you hear a bill being introduced, in 2026, there were 2,048 House bills introduced. And in 2025, there was 1,606 House bills introduced. In Senate bills, 41 passed, but in 2026, there were 974 introduced. And in 2025, 834. A lot of trees, no action though. This August, you're going to be seeing 4 amendments on the ballot. One will be the renewal of the soil, parks and water conservation sales tax, which continues to do a good job and gets approved. Amendment 2 will deal with elected assessors. Jackson County is the only county without an elected assessor. They've had issues, so that will be on the statewide ballot. Amendment 4 will modify the current requirements that a simple statewide majority of voters may approve an initiative petition. They're trying to change that. We have 8 congressional districts that you have to get simple majority in all 8 congressional districts instead of simple majority in the entire state, so that rural communities feel the urban communities dictate, because that's where the population base is. So they want to change the rules. And Amendment 5, if approved by the voters, requires the phase out and elimination of the individual income tax based on revenue growth, requires the reduction of property taxes and other local taxes to offset any local sales tax revenue increases, while preserving local funding for public schools. You're going to hear a lot of advertisement, but basically there is no plan if this passes. So it'll have to go back to the General Assembly and come up with a plan of how to create these sales taxes to replenish the funds you're eliminating with the income tax. So perfectly clear, there is no plan to solve a problem that's created if you were to do that. There was a generic election bills passed, which basically the county clerks and the election boards all came together. One basic issue that was passed in it is these politicians nowadays are doing these online fundraising, and people are clicking on it, and they're continuing even after the election's over, paying into it like a recurring credit card fee. They have made that illegal, so that's what's good about that bill. Annexation procedures for cities. The bill that passed does not affect the city of Florissant in one way, shape, or form. It deals with St. Charles County and Jefferson counties and the city of St. Joseph's. It originated with an idea, just like the city of St. Louis owns the airport land in the county, St. Joseph, the city, wants to annex land outside of the city for their airport. And then St. Charles and Jefferson counties had some issues, but it did not affect this area at all. One thing that does not affect you at all either is in St. Charles County, there was a standalone bill that passed that said their school board elections will take place in November. What you have had out in St. Charles County is there's been a conservative group of people elected to school boards, the school districts, the school teachers, and the community got active and put in moderate school board members. So the legislators in St. Charles were not happy with the voters' thoughts of who they want on the school boards, so they want to make school board elections in November and make them partisan, only in St. Charles County. Once again, changing the rules if you don't like how it. One of the things that did not pass that would have had a negative impact on this city immensely was utility relocations. The cable industry wanted municipalities and MoDOT to reimburse them for any damages to equipment on right-of-ways. We were able to get the municipalities out of it. MoDOT was still on it. It eventually did not pass. You heard a lot over the past year about property tax reform and these interim committees. Bottom line, it did not pass. And then there's always been that issue that the mayor has called a lot in other municipal governments, worried about the food sales tax elimination. That version did not pass, and the senator that has pushed that the last 4 years has been term limited. And then there was local government term limits in the Senate. It never passed out of committee. So I tried to be brief in what transpired this year.
Councilman Childress.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator, can you talk about gaming machines, and is there a solution next session? Will anybody try to reintroduce, or will both sides never agree to agree?
Good question. The regulation in taxing and giving local governments the ability to control whether or not you even allow them in your community for the second year in a row passed the House. Went to the Senate. They were confident they had the votes. The governor was in support of it as well, but the pro tem of the Missouri Senate, who is term limited, is anti-gaming, and so she created a separate committee and stacked it with 5 anti-gaming senators on it. So the bill received a hearing real late, and it was voted down unanimously in committee and did not get a chance. Do I see that coming back up? Yes, I do, because a lot of these restaurants and bars that were used to the income of these machines are now starting to rise up and say, these were illegal the last 5 years, or were legal last 5 years, now all of a sudden. If you read in the Post-Dispatch today, there's a bar on St. Charles Main Street called Tuner, T-U-N-E-R. They have filed suit on the Attorney General that she don't have the right because there's never been laws to legislate this. So that shows me. The one group, the issue is pretty much all the machines you've seen out there were gray machines. It wasn't black or white in the law, and it was run by Torch Electronics. They have removed their machines now with the actions of the Attorney General. So not just the small bar owners or any of the restaurants or convenience stores with separate rooms want them. Now the people that blocked the legislation in the past because they were an industry that wasn't taxed or regulated, they're now coming back and say, okay, now we're ready to get taxed and regulated. So you got 2 more. The casinos have always been adamant against them because they're afraid it creates competition. So you know, in perspective, in the state of Illinois, where they have BLTs, the casinos own those routes, a lot of them. So they're just trying to monopolize a market, and we'll see, but I think you'll see the issue coming back next year. One, because, once again, revenue as well. These, under their legislation, could produce, for Missouri, once it's up and going, they predict $300 to $400 million in education revenues.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Egan.
My question has been answered as well. Thank you, Senator, for being here tonight.
Okay. I don't see any more questions. Appreciate
Okay.
you being here, Senator Green.
Thank you. Have a good holiday.
Thanks, you too. Our next presentation is from St. Louis Survivors Legal Support. We have the Executive Director, Mr. Michael Burton. All right, give you a chance to see if we can plug that in there. It's got a PowerPoint. Thanks for accepting my invitation to come talk about this. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and I so appreciate that. First of all, thank you so much. It's been great to reacquaint myself with I think we're 8th cousins, Savannah, as far as that's concerned. My name is Mike Burton. I was a judge in St. Louis County for 22 years. You might have heard my name when people were using it in vain. I became the presiding judge of the circuit 3 days before the pandemic.
Just make sure you speak into the microphone. 'Cause
Okay, I'm
people
sorry
at
about
home,
that.
Then people at home can hear. You can even pick that up if you want.
I'll get a little closer here. How's
Yeah,
that?
That's perfect. Thank you.
Anyway, I lucked out and became the presiding judge of our court 3 days before the pandemic. So if you want to glare at me a bit and know who the person was that closed down all of the Muni courts for a good long time, that was me, and I apologize about that. One of the things that I did and had the privilege of doing as a judge is I was involved with a lot of domestic violence matters. And what happened, and the way it works in St. Louis County, just like anywhere else, is that you as a judge, when you're the new guy, you get the assignment no one wants. And the assignment no one wants is no surprise to most of you, would be the family court assignment. And that's exactly where I went when I started. And one of the things that we dealt with all the time on a weekly basis were orders of protection. I got a chance to hear thousands of orders of protection over the years, and I wound up dealing with trying to figure out better ways that we as a court could deal with the problem. I didn't believe that the courts were always the best place to address these issues of domestic violence. And one of the things that I was able to do is we started the first domestic violence court in the state. The focus that we had at the time, back in 2009 when we got started, was trying to hold offenders accountable. One of the things that we saw all the time were that folks that would violate orders of protection, there wasn't a real lot of accountability. And we started this court, and in St. Louis County now, we can say that there's really teeth to orders of protection that there hadn't been before. So I felt privileged to be part of that arrangement. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what I saw as a judge. And I'm going to get to that in just a second, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention something. You all might know there's a judge on the bench named John Newsham. You might know him. And I would be remiss at saying that anytime I'm in front of Judge Newsham, if I need to distract from the facts of my case, if I got some bad facts, I'm going to bring up the city of Florissant, because I know that I can get him off target for a little bit. The unfortunate part is that he does get right back to the facts at hand, and then he'll quickly rule against me. But it sometimes gives me a little bit of pause to be able to talk a little bit about the city of Florissant, because he's so proud of it, and you couldn't ask for a better guy, and what a better you couldn't ask for a better representative of the city. Let me talk just a little bit about the problems that we see. And I'll start by just telling you what you all know. The problem is huge. It's horrible. Look at the statistics. These numbers keep getting worse. We're not seeing, any sort of improvement. The bottom line is that if in fact you are a woman, as far as that's concerned, the likelihood is that there's a 1 in 3 chance that you are going to be a victim. And a guy, believe it or not, 1 in 4. Most men are a little bit stigmatized to, come forward and make any sort of complaints. But these statistics are horrible. And of course, if you are, a member of the Black or immigrant communities, the numbers are horrific. You throw poverty into the mix, no surprise. It just makes the situation so much worse. When we talk about what we are dealing with here, the bottom line here is that you see these stats, and the one that really jumps out at me is that the typical victim endures 50 acts of domestic violence before they actually leave their abuser. And in so many instances, as an attorney, when I got started, I would hear judges say things like, well, it couldn't have been that bad because you stayed, or it couldn't have been that bad because you went back. And that's just not the question to ask. And the question to ask, is why is this happening? And when you look at a county like ours, here we are in the biggest county in the state. We have almost 1 million people. We have one domestic violence shelter, the Kathy Weinman shelter, that right now has 33 beds that are available to folks. It's a joke. And what I see constantly are people going back to their abuser because they have nowhere else to go. It wears out the welcome pretty quickly when you're hanging out at your cousin's house for a few days and finally they say, how long is this gonna be? Because your kids are loud and by the way, you have pets. It's really, it gives people just so little, as far as, figuring out how to get away from it. And I wanna make sure people understand that, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I've seen so many countless situations in which the abuse is horrific. It's not like we're just talking about someone pushing someone or someone, making a threat to someone one time. Just to give you a sense as to the cases that I just had this past month. I've had a murder for hire. I've had a situation involving someone that I've said to them, how many times has he abused you? I need you to spell that out in your petition. It's not enough just to say he abused me, he stalked me. And she finally figured it out and said it was 2,500 times he's abused me. I've asked someone, I said to her, what do you mean when you say he's drilling me? What does that mean? And she said, oh yeah, because I woke up last night and I saw an electric drill coming towards my head. We had a case that's right here in Florissant not too long ago where the bottom line was that she was fearful of this guy and he then broke into her house and left a bullet on her pillow and left a bullet in the baby's crib. You just see these nightmares and, it just becomes, one of those things where you just throw your hands up and say, what is it we got to do? And what we have to do is spend a little bit more on dealing with programs for folks that, such as housing and such as issues pertaining, to counseling and the like. Right now we have some good organizations in town, but it's just not enough. So the biggest problem that we see, and why is this just nonstop? It's because of the exposure to children. And I'm not just talking about exposure from the standpoint of a child being hit. That's something that we clearly know and do something about it. We deal with, the Children's Division that handles those cases. But I'm talking about cases that are always given short shrift when you have an instance in which someone is sitting in the other room and they hear it or they see it. That's what we're talking about here, and that has an impact on children. And, you know, I've got a very good friend that is one of the premier experts on memory. And what he has told me is, he said, you know, for a child to be exposed to domestic violence, not actually physically hidden, just to be exposed is no different than someone coming back from Afghanistan. When we talk about PTSD, the only difference is that that child has a developing brain, and that may affect the development on a permanent basis. It's huge. But when you look at the stats at the bottom, that's something that for me is about as sobering a stat as you can get, that basically says that if a boy witnesses his father abuse his mother, he's 10 times more likely to be an abuser. If a girl witnesses her father or her mother's paramour abuse her mother, she's 6 times more likely to be a victim. Those are numbers that make such a difference. And I, as a judge, would oftentimes hear someone say, Judge, it's not like he laid a hand on the kids. Let's get visits set up right away. No, what he did do is beat the tar out of his wife in front of the kids, and that affected them probably in ways that are even worse than, you know, a physical, you know, situation. I say he and she because we're talking about 85% of the time that, as far as what we see in court, it's a woman that is filing against a man. What I do want to talk about is the concern oftentimes is people will say, what's the purpose of an order of protection? I mean, it doesn't mean anything. People just, you know, look at it and just say it's nothing but a piece of paper. That's not the case if you live in a circuit like we do here. Because of the court that I was describing back in 2009, when there's a cooperative collaboration between police, the judges, the prosecutors, and the court staff, there are ways of making sure that someone is in a position of cooperating and following the very simple orders that we talk about. What I used to see as a judge is I would sit there and say to someone till I'm blue in the face, you understand, Fred, no communication, no contact. I say, yeah, I understand that, I get that. And I'd make sure I'd drill it in his head. And then that night, he texts her. And he sends her a text and says, screw you, B, okay? And what we know the police are going to do, I mean, no one has the bandwidth to handle, you know, that kind of case, despite the fact it's a misdemeanor. But what we know is the person that handled that call from the police department is not the same officer that handled the call 3 weeks ago when she got the call to, you know, identify the abuse that was happening in the house. If that were the same person, they would understand the situation and deal with it differently. But that's not what the case is. And typically what will happen is then in the week later, he's slowly driving past the house well within the zone of restriction from the judge. The judge said, you got to stay 500 feet or more away from her. He's driving 25 feet away. She again calls the police, and once again, we know nothing's going to happen, and understandably. Well, then the next thing is he's standing at the window looking inside. She calls the police again, and that's sort of a close call, but they may not be making any sort of priority on those kinds of cases. And then we know what happens next. He's inside, and it's too late. And when we have this contempt court that we set up as with the coordination of all the judges, what we know is, and what we tell folks is, you come back to our court, go to the Order of Protection Office, file a motion for contempt, and that guy's going to be held in jail. We don't lock most of these guys up, but what we do is make sure that they understand that there's consequences. And the oldest trick in the book for a judge is the first case on the docket is the case where you're going to lock somebody up, and that gets everybody else's attention. And you really do start seeing some cooperation as far as that's concerned. The problem that we see is also looking at the fact that most people need an attorney. I'm convinced that there's no way someone should ever walk into a court on their own. They just shouldn't. And having an attorney makes all the difference in the world. When you just look at the statistics that will show you, you're 3 times more likely to prevail in court if you have an attorney by your side. 3 times more likely. And what a lot of people don't realize is there are special terms that can be included in an order of protection. Most people think all an order of protection is stay away, no communication, that's it. There are so many other things that can be included in an order of protection. You can get child support. You can get someone to pay the mortgage, pay the rent. You can get someone to be in a position of getting substance abuse treatment. And you could order someone to be participating in the batterer intervention program. But what has really made a difference is a law that changed about 5 years ago. Missouri used to have one of the worst statutes on the book that basically said the most you could get is 1 year of an order of protection, despite what the facts are. The law changed in 2021, in which it basically said that if you can show that someone is a serious danger to the petitioner's mental or physical health, you can get an order of protection that lasts up to 10 years. And that has completely changed the way that we are dealing with these cases in the courthouse. But how do you prove that someone is a serious danger? How do you show that someone has a record, whether it's a criminal record or an order of protection record? You got to do things that only lawyers can do. And there's no way that, the average Joe either knows about the law. I don't know how many times I've been in court and the other side is, the lawyers don't even know what the law is. But to even get to that point where you know what the law is, you still don't know what you need to do to present a case in court. And this is what really makes a huge difference now. And just to give you an idea of what kind of cases we're seeing, I've had a case, not too long ago where I've said to the other side, I said, you understand that we're not interested in some kind of agreement with you. We're going to go to trial because the bottom line is your guy's got 5 serious felonies on his record. And the guy said to me, first of all, I said, I didn't even know what the law is. But secondly, when I told him what the law is, he said, well, I'll note here that the last time this guy got a conviction was in 2002. And I said, yeah, you might want to talk to your guy about that because he just got out of the penitentiary 2 months ago on that murder charge that convicted him back in 2002. Or I've had cases in which, not too long ago, I've had someone that had 8 separate orders of protection against him from 8 separate women. Those are the kinds of people that we have in our community that need to have their situation addressed by the court. No surprise here, though, there aren't free lawyers. Lawyers are expensive. Most of the folks that come to the courts are from the areas in North County that are the most under-resourced. No big surprise here that they just can't afford to pay for a private attorney. But the bigger problem is that there's just not free lawyers that are too involved. Legal Services is one of the organizations. They just, they can't deal with, the kinds of numbers that we're talking about. At this point, one of the biggest problems is people don't even find out about different places that they could go to until after they filed their order of protection petition. They then go and apply for an attorney, and in many instances, these few organizations that address this will take 3 to 4 weeks to respond, and by then the court date has come and gone. It's a huge problem in our community. I think and I just want to talk real quickly just about some of the statistics that are such a problem. We know that hardly anyone ever reports domestic violence, much less comes forward and seeks an order of protection. We also know that when people come to the courthouse, so many of them don't know the English language. So many of them don't have the ability to read or write. But by the way, the night before, they happen to have the most traumatic event that occurred in their life. They're not in their best position to write out any kind of detailed description of why they're there or what it is they want. And if someone only comes to the courthouse and says, the reason I'm here is last night he screamed at me, and they leave out the fact that the night before that he pushed her down the stairs, and the night before that he beat her, they're stuck with what they have on that document. A judge won't let, because a due process won't let someone get into other facts. And if someone only asks for the relief that they think they can get, which is no communication, no contact, they can't get all the relief that we're talking about, that I just talked about, payment of rent, payment of child support, whatever, unless they ask for it in their petition. And then when you look at this number, and this is the number that startled me the most. As a judge, I would see these dockets, I would call these dockets, and I would see horrendous allegations. And what generally would happen is no one would show for those cases. Or I'd call the docket. First case on the docket would be Mary versus Fred. I'd call, and Mary's there, Fred's there, Fred has an attorney, they're all present. And then I go through the docket and I said, okay, we're ready now for case number 1. Well, guess what? Mary has left. And we understand why. You know, why subject yourself to that kind of hell in a courtroom? And so when I got the numbers, I found that 79.3% of orders of protection in St. Louis County are dismissed. And we know why a good portion of them are dismissed, because she doesn't show, and we know why. The statistics bear out that in most instances, someone's not going to show because the guy's making sure she's not going to show up. That's a huge problem. And then when we start looking at the numbers here, even the ones that do show, even the ones that have the courage to come forward, only 10% have attorneys. And you can see the big problem when they are without an attorney. So I want to just talk to you just a little bit about my organization. I believe, as I told you, that no one should walk into a courtroom by themselves. And we want to make sure that people are represented. And what we're able to do, because one of the things that we're really focusing on is getting out into the community. So we're partnering with 10 police departments, including Florissant. Florissant has been one of our first partners. And essentially, they're the ones that are helping us get cases. We know that if someone trusts a police officer or trusts a nurse, and that's why we're partnering with hospital systems. If someone trusts a counselor, they're going to be much more likely to come forward when that person says, you know what, you need some help. Here's a group that can help you. We right now are starting to branch out, because a lot of people have said, why not go to hair salons? Why not go to nail salons? Why not go to places where, you know, in many instances, women often go without the guy keeping an eagle eye on them? That's another place to, you know, to look. We also know that there's certain communities that don't trust the system. They have good reason to not trust the system. They haven't been heard for many instances. And those are the communities that we're really focusing on as well. We meet folks at the courthouse. We tell them, okay, you need an order of protection? We will meet you there and we'll talk to you about your choices. Sometimes proceeding with an order of protection is the worst thing you can do. Sometimes it can make the matter even worse. We want to make sure that people understand the risks that they're taking, and we know that when meeting with them in person and making sure they understand before they go forward, that can make a big difference. We are representing, as we told you, folks at the order of protection hearings. We're also helping folks as far as taking the next step. If someone wants to be in a position to extend their order of protection, if they want to modify their order of protection, or more significantly, if they want to enforce their order of protection, there's a lot of steps that they can take to contact us, and we can get them in that right place. Right now, what we are able to do with our volunteers, right now we're partnering with 100 attorneys that are essentially giving us a huge bandwidth. By partnering with all these volunteers, many of whom come from some of the bigger firms in town. Some of these firms proclaim themselves to be with these huge litigation departments. We've had, you know, folks that have been in litigation departments at the biggest firms for 8 to 10 years and they've never tried a case. We work it out where we say, hey, we can work this out if we work together. You will come, if you help us, we'll train you. I'll make sure that we get you a veteran, if not myself, to, you know, be in that position to help you understand what the law is, know what you need to do to try a case, and it's been working like a charm. So far, we've been involved in about 500 cases in our first few years, and you see all the statistics. The statistic that is, that I'm most proud of is the fact that if you have us as your attorney, you're 3 times more likely to get relief. And if you have us as an attorney, at this point, 62% of our clients are getting orders of protection that last more than a year. And that's a huge thing. And to not have to come back to court every year to poke the sleeping dog makes such a huge difference. So what are we doing? And how are we doing it? First of all, it's our outreach. It's getting out into the community. We just started a program, and you have a flyer that's in front of you that we are partnering with the St. Louis County Library, Florissant Police Department, and the 1st Precinct. Basically giving folks an opportunity to come to one of those sites to get their petition done. They'll meet with someone from our staff. We just got started, so our numbers are starting off a little bit slowly. But we know it's going to make a big difference, because what we know is that in order to come from North County, in many instances, you might be looking at taking 2 bus transfers. It might take you 2 hours to get into Clayton. And especially if you have kids, we look at that as being an access to justice issue. We want to make sure everyone has this opportunity. And if someone is able to get to us to get that petition filed, then we also, through the help of a group called Alive, we know that we can get folks to the courthouse through Uber. They're funding us in that regard. As far as everything else is concerned, one of the biggest things that a lot of people have is they're afraid to come forward because they have a muni warrant. We know that being able to work that out with the munis makes such a difference, and it changes people's outlook. They're going to come forward and report problems when they can. We just started a program now where we're representing people in their custody cases, and that's making a big difference too. That's it, but I just wanted to make sure that you all know what it is we're doing with Florissant. It's been a great way to get started. We're just providing free legal representation to people that need that help. And all I'd ask you to do is, if you have any questions at any time, you know how to reach me. You see all the contact information there. Just ask for Burton. And I promise I won't close your court down or anything, because I don't have any power to do that anymore. But please be in a position of thinking about someone you might know that can be directed to this service. It's much needed. Didn't know if anyone had any questions.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, and proud that Florissant is partnering and looking to make a difference. So if anyone's listening, this flyer says that you have someone at the Florissant Police Department every Thursday.
That's correct.
9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Correct.
And I was able to meet that person, and she's doing a wonderful job.
She's doing great.
As
Absolutely.
Well. So thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, folks, for letting me come.
Yeah,
Appreciate
and also,
it.
thanks for the pre-law students that you brought along.
We got all the pre-law guys, and I think hanging out with me is going to change their mind about law school, but hopefully not.
Okay, thank you.
Have a
Mr.
great
Burton.
night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is hearing from citizens. This is a time to speak to the council on any issue, not necessarily on the agenda, for 3 minutes. This is not a question and answer period. If you would like to speak to a council member or the mayor, please stay until after the meeting is over. If you are here to speak on a public hearing, please wait and speak when the public hearing is announced. I have a speaker card for Mr. Lou Gerals. Please come forward.
That's for the public hearing.
Okay, we'll hang on to that. Thank you. The next item, was there anyone else? Okay. The next item on the agenda is communications, of which there are none. The next item on the agenda is public hearings. Public hearing number 2606026.
In accordance with Title IV Land Use of the Florissant Zoning Code, a public hearing will be held by the City Council of Florissant, Missouri in the Council Chambers, 955 Rue St. Francois, on Monday, June 22nd, 2026 at 7 p.m. on the following proposition. A request to amend Article 4, Land Use, Limitations of Exterior Materials, known as the city's Masonry Code, by creating new definitions, material uses, and locations for the use of masonry and masonry-like materials. Citizens will have an opportunity to be heard. Anyone with special needs should contact the city clerk at least 5 days before said public hearing by calling 839-7630 or email cityclerk@florissantmo.com.
Ms. Irvin, would you like to speak on this? Okay. Thank you for being here again.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Debbie Irvin, Building Commissioner. This is in regards to the limitations of exterior wall material, commonly known as the Masonry Code. The city has worked on this for almost 2 years, and we've come to the final ordinance. During our executive session, we were asked to go back and look at smaller parcels for what we call in-bills, such as something like a coffee shop. And we found that using a smaller parcel was not going to be large enough. And so in doing some more research, we were able to, I went out and I looked at a lot of these that's already there. For example, Seven Brew is on 0.61 acres. All of the small sliders are on less than an acre, but then you have some car washes on 1.14 acres. And so then there's one in St. Charles County. I went out there, and they're on 1.5 acres. And so my research came from St. Louis County Real Estate Records and St. Charles County Real Estate Records, and then just going out visiting those sites and seeing how they look when we look at infill building in commercial districts. And so we came back with accepting, the Plan Commission accepted on line 89. We looked at container-derived exterior cladding material for exterior wall material. And then what you see in your packets that are red line was the final decisions from the Planning Commission was metal panel cladding. And then we moved on over to line 169, where we included special exception material, and then we dropped down to line 199. We identified those materials for special exceptions, and then we put in some other information on line 204. So we hope that this would give us a little bit more freedom when we're looking at exterior wall material, when looking at new construction, rehab construction in the city of Florissant. This kind of brings us up a little bit to 2026 development. Are there any questions?
I don't see any questions from the council. I appreciate you working on this, bringing it to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Before we close this public hearing, is there anyone in the audience who would like to comment on this public hearing? Is that Mr. Giles? This is okay. Third one. Okay. Seeing no further comments, or seeing none, rather, Councilman Manganelli moves to close this public hearing, seconded by Councilman Caputa. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. This public hearing is closed. Next is public hearing number 2606028.
In accordance with Section 405135 of the Florissant Zoning Code, a public hearing will be held by the City Council of Florissant, Missouri, in the council chambers at 955 Rue St. Francois on Monday, June 22nd, 2026 at 7 p.m. on the following proposition: to amend ordinance number 9184 for Dr. Yaki, DBA Dr. Yaki Rafa Elohim Holistic Clinic for the installation of a wall sign exceeding 40 square feet in a B5 planned commercial district located at 660 Charbonnier. Citizens will have an opportunity to be heard. Anyone with special needs should contact the city clerk within at least 5 days before said public hearing by calling 839-7630 or email cityclerk@florissantmo.com.
Is the petitioner present for this public hearing? Dr. Yaki or a representative? Okay. I see none. Okay. Councilman Egan moves to postpone, seconded by Councilman Caputa. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, it's postponed, but I would like to ask, is there anyone here? Okay, to the date of, is it July 13th is our next meeting? Okay, let's do that. Okay, so the public hearing has been postponed, but did anyone come here tonight to speak on that? If so, and you'd like to speak, come on forward. Okay, I see none. Okay, we'll move on to public hearing number 2606029.
In accordance with Section 405125 of the Florissant zoning code, a public hearing will be held by the City Council of Florissant, Missouri in the council chambers at 955 Rue St. Francois on Monday, June 22nd, 2026 at 7 p.m. on the following proposition: to authorize a special use for the Stephen Group to operate a construction contractor in a B3 extensive business district located at 1171A North Highway 67. Citizens will have an opportunity to be heard. Anyone with special needs should contact the city clerk at least 5 days before said public hearing by calling 839-7630 or email cityclerk@florissantmo.com.
Is the petitioner present this evening? Mr. Steve, come on forward. Welcome, gentlemen. Will you introduce yourselves and tell us about your project?
Twan Stevens is my name, and the project we have is there's a building that's been vacant for a long time, and we're using it for a construction office. So what we basically do is store tools and materials over there, and the guys meet up, and we go over projects, and we head on out.
Okay.
So real
Great.
simple, easy.
We will have some questions about this. So
Okay.
We'll work through these. We'll start at the end with Mr. Manganelli, Councilman Manganelli. Oh. Thank you. Well, hold on. Time out. Should I go with? Let's go with O'Donnell first. I'm sorry. This is his ward. This is your ward, right, Mr. Manganelli? Okay. Mr. O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome. I wonder if I could just ask a couple of questions for clarity, if we could kind of review that. Part of the petition states that the use includes operational activities associated with a construction business together with indoor storage of equipment and related materials. Could you elaborate for me what operational activities would be associated with a construction business?
So basically, it's just storing materials, like say we got a job and it'd be better for us to buy in bulk instead of going back and forth to the store. So we'll store like drywall and different materials there, and to make it easier and faster for us to get in and out on projects.
Okay, so I understand that, but so mostly it's storage facility
Yes.
is what you're talking about?
Yes.
But what would include operational activities that are associated with the business? Are there some other types of activities that you would do there in terms
Yes.
of construction?
Yes, so we'll go over plans on the different projects we have coming up. So we might have meetings there and go over plans and different strategies of what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and attack it.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be any kind of assembly, prefabrication?
No.
Nothing along those lines?
No.
Okay, thank you. And there was reference to not allowing a washdown area. What is a washdown area?
Washdown area, we won't be using a washdown area. We don't need it for anything. And you're asking, can you please specify what you were asking?
So I noticed that it said that you were not including a washdown area. So I'm assuming that means cleaning of the operational vehicles. Is that what that reference is?
Yes, and it probably would be in the neighborhood. Okay, washdown for it. Equipment, vehicles, yeah, I see it now. Yeah, we won't be doing anything like that.
So where would you be doing where would you be doing that washdown if those vehicles needed that before they're stored?
It'll be at a designated area, but it wouldn't be for any of our vehicles that we use for it wouldn't be there.
So it would not be at this facility?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Thank you. And your operational hours, I think it was 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.? Is that
Yes.
what I was seeing? Okay, thank you. I don't think I have any other questions, but thank you for clarifying. Thank you, Mr.
Sure.
President.
Thank you. Let's go to Councilman Manganelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. Welcome, gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
So I guess I'm trying to wrap my arms around, or whatever, trying to figure out what kind of contracting you do. Do you have, do you have heavy equipments?
No heavy equipment. We just basically do, we rehab houses. So that's basically
Okay.
what we do.
Okay.
So no heavy equipment, no big equipment we'll
No
have over there. I mean,
backhoes,
the biggest thing we'll
bulldozers.
have over there is probably a trailer.
Okay. Okay. Because I was wondering if you would, have the need for a storage, facility for the, for the larger contracting heavy equipment. Okay. So really with that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Manganelli. Councilman Egan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, gentlemen. How long
Good
you all
evening.
how long you been in business, sir?
Since 2016,
2000, about 10 years?
yeah.
Okay. And where are you currently storing all your equipment at right now?
I had a storage unit in St. Louis City. I had one in St. Louis City. It was just a storage unit that we stored everything.
Okay, and you own the company, sir?
Yes,
And is it registered in your name with the state of Missouri?
yes.
I could not find that today. I looked it and I saw, is one of your companies Dirty Bubble?
That's my son.
That's your son's company, okay?
Yeah, my son, he does the car washing, so that's probably where that came from. He does car
I did
washing.
see there was a Stevens group that has a Terry Tatum in it. You know who Terry Tatum is?
I know who he is, but that's not me. I don't know why it says
With the
Stevens Group.
Missouri Secretary of State, if you look up the Stevens Group,
Mm-hmm.
as his name comes up, that's right. And he used to own that plaza there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And that's why I was a little confused, but he's not associated
No,
with you?
not at all.
And you're registered with the state of Missouri
Yes.
under the Stevens Group?
Yes.
You might want to look that up tomorrow because for some reason his name's under the Stevens Group. Yeah, I thought that a little unusual. Okay, very good. And I went by there today, and some things I'm going to point out have nothing to do with you, but they do. First of all, there's a trailer back there now. Is that your trailer back there now?
Yes.
Okay, how long have you been in that property then?
How long have I been in there?
Yeah.
Not long, maybe 6 months, maybe.
6 months, and you're just now getting to us on the,
Yes.
okay, did you get a business license with the city?
Yes.
You do, okay. I do want to say, and I'll tell the council this, that I went by there today, and it looks horrible.
It looked horrible.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the building behind you, there's a sheet metal lying around. That's not you, is it?
No.
The grass is not in our code system right now. I think that's probably the property owner. But, you probably need to get your property owner and tell him there's one guy on the council that's not going to vote to put anything in there until he cleans that property up. Matter of fact, there's some outstanding ordinance violations on that property, on the one that you're actually, you're 1171A Adam, correct?
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
Your address is 1171A?
Yes,
I
that's
believe
in the
we-
rear.
Yeah, we have, I went down today, we have some housing code violations, building violations on that.
Yeah, and we just were informed about those last Monday.
Well, when you come back for your second, third readings next week, I hope those are resolved, okay?
Yeah, we'll get them done.
All right. That's all I have for right now.
Okay,
Thank you, good luck.
thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Egan. Back to Councilman O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Stephen, could I clarify something for you? The name of your business, and I think we reference it a couple of places in the notes, is Stevens with an S, but the
Yes.
name of your business is Stephen Group, is that
The
correct?
Stevens Group, yeah.
So is it with an S or without an S?
It's with an S.
It is with an S, so
Yes.
Stevens? Okay,
Yes.
very good. All right, that's all I had. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No problem.
Councilwoman Pagano.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing?
Do you rehab houses?
Yes, ma'am.
Mainly in the city or the city of St. Louis or
City and county.
in here? What do you do with the debris from those? Is that going to come here on trailers? Is that going
No,
to be stored here?
most of the time when we're doing, if it's a big project, we'll have a dumpster delivered there, and we put everything inside of a dumpster.
At the place that you're working?
Yes.
But nothing will be brought onto this to sit in the
No.
trailer overnight?
No.
The trailer will be empty when it's here?
Most of the time it will be empty unless we're working late or something and we have to bring a trailer to the property, and overnight, yeah, it'll be gone and dumped, you know, the next day or whatever, but we never really use it. Most of the time, we're using the trailer for picking up, like say we have a big cabinet order or something like that. That's most of the time we use it for. We really don't like really dealing with the trash aspect. That's why we get the dumpsters for it.
Okay. And most of your rehab houses are done in St. Louis City?
City,
that-
county,
Okay,
yeah.
just wondering. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Pagano. Councilman Egan.
Yeah, very good, thank you. One last question I wanted to clarify. I know that Mr. O'Donnell asked it, but I saw in the P&Z minutes, it was starting time would be 7 a.m., I believe, and you're saying your starting time will be 8 a.m., is that correct?
That's correct.
So verify you won't start till 8 o'clock in the morning because that does back up against some residential areas there, correct?
Yes, it does,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you very much, that's what I have.
Okay. Are there any more comments or questions from the council? Okay, I see none. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here to talk to us about your project. And
Alrighty.
all right.
Thank you.
You
Appreciate
may
it.
be seated. Thank you.
Alrighty.
And before we close this public hearing, is there anyone in the audience who would like to comment on this public hearing? Okay, come on forward. Please state your name for the record.
Mr. President, honorable members of City Council, Mayor Lowry, I'm Lou Girls, live at 1355 Swallow Lane, Florissant, Missouri, 63031. And I'm here to support the approval of the bill. But I have a minor issue with one part of the bill, and that's in section 1, paragraph number 13, and line item 44 to 48. The paragraph just doesn't read right. So this is a minor issue. I apologize, but just it's a sticking point with me. I hate to send stuff to City Council that isn't quite right, but the paragraph neither states it's permitted or prohibited the activities that it states in item 13. If you read number 13, again, I hate to send stuff to the City Council that's incorrect or it's incomplete, or in this case makes no sense. I raised this issue of this paragraph with Planning and Zoning, and the chairman and the other members of P&Z decided not to do anything about it and sent it to you, and unfortunately, it's also ended up in this bill, which is unfortunately not a great thing. I'm sure other members of the City Council have recognized the problem with paragraph number 13. I'm 1,000% sure that former City Councilman Bob Garrett would have found it. But to ignore the problem is just plain lazy and irresponsible. To allow little issues to persist when they can be easily rectified bothers me pretty much. When you let them continue on, it rewards laziness, in my opinion. I therefore recommend that 2 words be inserted in that paragraph. Line 46, after the word noise, I would suggest is prohibited, and that'd be before the exception. That's basically my comments. Sorry it's such a minor issue, but it's a little bit of...
No, I appreciate you bringing this forward and
At my
pointing
age,
that out.
I haven't had anything to drink today, and little things tick me off, so.
Okay, you're just fine. We'll review that, and we can always make changes before the
Okay,
next
any
meeting.
questions, any other questions on that? P&Z felt that the proposal was very well, a good proposal.
Thank you, Mr. Juros.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other comments on this public hearing? Okay. Seeing no further comments, Councilman O'Donnell moves to close this public hearing. Seconded by Councilman Siam. All in favor? Any opposed? This public hearing is closed. The next item on the agenda is old business. The first item is bills for second reading. Substitute bill number 10226, Councilman Egan, are you moving to accept the substitute bill? Okay. Seconded by Councilman Caputa. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. So the substitute bill has been accepted. I'm looking, is there a motion for a second reading? Okay. Councilman Egan moves for a second reading, seconded by Councilman O'Donnell. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Florissant, Missouri, amending Chapter 605, Business Regulations, Article 22, Mobile Food Vendors, Section 605.590, Regulations to add additional regulations for mobile food vendors operating in the city.
Councilman Egan moves for a third reading, seconded by Councilman Manganelli. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Florissant, Missouri, amending Chapter 605, Business Regulations, Article 22, Mobile Food Vendors, Section 605.590, Regulations to add additional regulations for mobile food vendors operating in the city.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa. Yes. Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Parson. Yes. Cyan.
Substitute bill number 10226 passes and becomes ordinance number 9222. Substitute bill number 10231. Councilwoman Parson moves to accept substitute bill number 10231. Is there a second to accept this? Second. Seconded by Councilwoman Pagano. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the substitute bill has been accepted. Councilwoman Parson moves for a second reading. Is there a second? I will second. Seconded by myself. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Ordinance authorizing a special use for Catherine Smith, DBA Jollof Senegal Kitchen, to allow for a restaurant in a B2 Central Business District located at 12667 New Halls Ferry Road.
Third. Councilwoman Parson moves for a third reading. Seconded by Councilman Caputa. All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance authorizing a special use for Catherine Smith, DBA Jollof Senegal Kitchen, to allow for a restaurant in a B2 Central Business District located at 12667 New Halls Ferry Road.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa. Yes. Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Parson. Cyan. Yes.
Substitute bill number 10231 passes and becomes ordinance number 9223. Bill number 10232. Okay. Let's see, this is the positive vibes grooming. Okay. Councilman O'Donnell moves for a second reading, seconded by Councilwoman Pagano. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Ordinance authorizing a special use for Mariah Green, DBA Positive Vibes Grooming, LLC, to allow for a pet grooming business in a HB Historic Business District located at 729 Rue St. Francois.
Councilman O'Donnell moves for a third reading, seconded by Councilwoman Pagano. All in favor? Any opposed?
Ordinance authorizing a special use for Mariah Green, DBA Positive Vibes Grooming, LLC, to allow for a pet grooming business in an HB Historic Business District located at 729 Rue St. Francois.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Harris.
Yes?
Manganelli. Egan. Puda. Shildroth. O'Donnell. Pagano. Parson. Cyan.
Substitute bill number 10232 passes and becomes ordinance number 9224. The next item on the agenda is new business. The first item under new business is board appointments. Councilman O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move to appoint Gina Seavey to Landmark and Historic District Commission.
Seconded by Councilwoman Pagano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The appointment is made. Councilman Egan.
I just had to do a motion on removal for a vote when we get the bills for first reading.
Okay. Mayor Lowry.
Thank you. I wish to appoint Ed Ramatowski to the Veterans Commission from Ward 6.
Seconded by Councilman Caputa. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry. Okay. Can we get a motion? Okay. Councilman Caputa moves to approve the appointment, seconded by Councilman Manganelli. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The appointment has been made.
Thank you. What else? Steve Seavey to the Disability Awareness Commission, also from Ward 6.
Councilman Caputa moves to approve. Seconded by, was that Egan? Councilman Egan. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The appointment has been made.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Councilman Egan.
I'd like to make a motion to remove bill number 10237 and postpone it to the next regular council meeting that includes the public hearing for this bill.
Seconded by Councilman Caputa. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the bill has been postponed. Say that right? Okay, let's see. Bills for first reading. Bill number 10235.
Ordinance amending section 125.065.a, job classifications and grade level by adding a certain job classification.
Councilman Shildroth moves for a second reading.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Egan. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Ordinance amending section 125.065A, job classifications and grade level by adding a certain job classification.
Councilman Shildroth moves for a third reading. Seconded by Councilman Caputa. Roll call vote, please.
Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Puda. Yes. Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Parson. Cyan. Ordinance amending section 125.065A, job classifications and grade level by adding a certain job classification.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa. Yes. Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Parson. Yes. Cyan.
Bill number 10235 passes and becomes ordinance number 9225. Bill number 10236.
Ordinance repealing Article 4, limitations on exterior materials in selected districts of the Code of Ordinances for the Florissant City Code and creating a new section 405254 and Chapter 405 for the Florissant City Code entitled Limitations on Exterior Materials.
Bill number 10238.
Ordinance authorizing a special use for Tawan Stephen, DBA The Stevens Group, to operate a construction contractor at 1171A North Highway 67 in a B3 Extensive Business District.
Bill number 10239.
Ordinance authorizing a contract with Regis Commission for Information Security Governance and Policy Framework Development.
Councilman Childeros moves for a second reading, seconded by Councilman Egan. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any against?
Ordinance authorizing a contract with Regis Commission for Information Security Governance and Policy Framework Development.
Councilman Childeros moves for a third reading, seconded by Councilwoman Pagano. Roll call vote, please.
Harris.
Yes.
Sorry, wrong line. Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa. Yes. Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Parson. Cyan. Ordinance authorizing a contract with Regis Commission for Information Security Governance and Policy Framework Development.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none. Clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa. Yes. Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Parson. Cyan.
Bill number 10239 passes and becomes ordinance number 9226. Bill number 10240.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept a proposal from FAAC Incorporated for a police driving simulator, execute a contract pursuant thereto, and appropriating additional funds awarded from MEM for a safety grant.
Councilman Caputa moves for a second reading, seconded by Councilman Manganelli. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any against?
Ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept a proposal from FAAC Incorporated for a police driving simulator, execute a contract pursuant thereto, and appropriating additional funds awarded from MEM for a safety grant.
Councilman Childeroth moves for a third reading, seconded by Councilman Caputa. Roll call vote, please.
Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa. Yes. Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Parson. Yes. Cyan. Ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept a proposal from FAAC Incorporated for a police driving simulator, execute a contract pursuant thereto, and appropriating additional funds awarded from MEM for a safety grant.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa. Yes. Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Parson. Yes. Cyan.
Bill number 10240 passes and becomes ordinance number 9227. Bill number 10241.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept a proposal from McConnell and Associates for the installation of a tennis court at Dunnigat Park and execute a contract pursuant thereto.
Councilman Childeroth moves for a second reading, seconded by Councilwoman Parson. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Against?
Ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept a proposal from McConnell and Associates for the installation of a tennis court at Dunnigat Park and execute a contract pursuant thereto.
Councilman Childeroth moves for a third reading, seconded by Councilwoman Pagano. Roll call vote, please.
Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa. Yes. Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Parson. Yes. Cyan. Ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept a proposal from McConnell and Associates for the installation of a tennis court at Dunnigat Park and execute a contract pursuant thereto.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa. Yes. Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Parson. Yes. Cyan.
Bill number 10241 passes and becomes ordinance number 9228. The next item on the agenda is council announcements. Councilman Childeroth.
Thank you, Mr. President. This isn't an easy one to announce, but I would like to thank the Russell family for 70 great years of operating BJ's Bar and Restaurant at the corner of Washington and St. Ferdinand. They announced last week that they would be closing, and their last day is June 28th. Jay Russell and his wife founded the restaurant, and passed it on to his daughter, Jeannie, and her family, and they've run a great operation for many years, and it's a landmark, in my opinion, in the city of Florissant, and they will be sorely missed. Thank you.
Councilman O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to congratulate Old Town Donuts on the occasion of being named Best Donut in America for the second year in a row. Congratulations to Tom and Brad and their whole staff. We're happy for you. Florissant's proud of you, and we're proud to call you one of our own Ward 6 businesses. And I would personally like to offer my sympathies and condolences to our Florissant judge, Mary Elizabeth Dorsey, and her family on the passing of her sister, Mary Alice Dorsey. Mary Alice passed overnight. I just want the judge to know and her family that our thoughts and prayers are with her and her family, and we are saddened to hear of her passing. So thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Parson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say thank you to the City of Florissant and the mayor for a wonderful Juneteenth celebration that we had this past Friday. It was quite an event with 2,000 plus people that came out. I saw people of all ages there celebrating the event. There was an elderly couple. When I grow up, I hope to be like them. They were enjoying the music and dancing. And I saw all different ethnicities there. So I just want to say thank you for all of that.
Mayor Lowry.
Thank you. So this Wednesday, June 24th, from 6 to 9, will be our next Wednesday night out. It's an Italian Street Festival, which is going to be hosted by American Family Insurance, Paul Maganelli. That's at 717 Rue St. Francis. And just prior to that, at 5:30, we'll be unveiling one of the plaques at the Winter Boot Shop. It's a historic marker at 550 St. Francis Street. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is going to be the Hispanic Festival, the Fiesta in Florissant. It's going to be at the Knights of Columbus grounds, or I should say the Shane Home Association, on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., and on Sunday it'll be from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesday, June 30th, from 4 to 8, there'll be Gaming with the Cops at the Fusion 314. There should be free pizza and prize drawings. And our 4th of July celebration at the James J. Egan Center will be hosting a 250th celebration at 6 p.m. with the Daughters of the American Revolution. Trixie Delight will play music starting at 7:15, and fireworks will start at 9:15. There'll be food trucks, music, and fireworks, so please come out. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's see, the next regular meeting for the City Council will be on Monday, July 13th, 2026. Councilwoman Pagano moves to adjourn the regular meeting, seconded by Councilman Siam. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The meeting is adjourned. All righty. Did you know that guy?